So acquiring a provisional license in the UK usually starts with you applying for the DVLA form, and as you can see on your screen, that is the website. So if you look motoring.dvla.gov.uk, I'm going to leave the link in the description below, so don't worry, you can just go on there and click, so that it will take you directly to this page. So this is what you're likely to see. And the first part is where you're looking at, talks about during your transaction. This is something you need to pay attention to. They're saying that please don't use the buttons up there, so either forward, backward, or refresh. They're referring to this. As you can see here, they're referring to these buttons. If you want to maybe navigate, go back and forth, please use the buttons here. As you can see, these ones down there, right? Now the second thing is, I have all your documents at hand so that you are not timed out, right? So you can't just leave it and then go and look for your document. Now the last bit that you need to be aware of is the fact that you need to make sure this, whatever you're applying for, is for yourself, and that you cannot apply for driving license for anyone or someone else. You can actually assist, but make sure the information, everything you enter, is your own, right? But you can't apply for someone else. That's what they're saying. So just to bear in mind. So if you're happy with that, let's go to the next page. So this is where it's talking about how they are going to protect your data, process your data. So if you see DVLA, they are committed to upholding security of your data. We use industry standard, safeguard your data, and then to make sure nobody has unauthorized access to your data. If you're happy with it, then just to give you some form of assurance, you go to next. Now this is where you enter your personal details, and I'm very sure you know, definitely if you have a title, Mr., Mrs., you can choose any of them. If you have any other title other than Mr., Mrs., if you're a chief or you are, whatever you are, just put your title in here. Of course, this is where you enter your first names, so your first and the middle names that you have. This is where you put in your surname. This is where you put your gender, whether you're male or female, and then this is where you put your date of birth. These are all compulsory fields, as you can see: date of birth, month, year, and then of course you need to put in your country of birth. So I'm going to fill it. When I'm done, you're also done, you just go and click on next. That will take you to the next page. So if you click on the next page, after you've entered your details, it will take you to the section where you enter your address. So this is where you enter where you've lived in the past 3 years. So obviously the first one I'm going to ask you is where you enter your postcode. So if you're in the UK, make sure you put in the right postcode. And if you enter the postcode, what happens is it will bring up all the addresses at that particular postcode so that you can choose the correct address for you. I need to emphasize that, look, if you make a mistake with your address, the form is going to be posted to the wrong address, and then you probably will take a long time before you end up getting the form to fill. So make sure over here you enter the correct address. Make sure, if you're not too sure about the address, you can ask your neighbor, you can ask the people you live with, and especially if you're new to the country, so that they give you the right address to apply. So when you click on next, you see that it comes up with a lot of addresses, and then you select the right address. Right, so you just select the right address and you go to the next. Now this is where they also ask you whether you have any supplementary information. You check and see whether the address is correct. So you check if there's anything missing, just to make sure you don't make a mistake. Now this is the part where you see that the address number 1, which means that this is your first address, and if this is the only address that you've lived at, that's fine, you don't have a problem. But if that's not the only address, of course, if you're an immigrant, you'd have come from a different country, so you also have to just indicate the number of months that you've been here. So in my case, if let's say you came into the country somewhere January 1st, I would say probably you are just 3 months. So because from January to end of March, it's probably just 3 months, so you just put in 3 months. And then look here, when you come down here, you see that there's address number 2 or add second address. And if you check up here, like I was saying, tell us where you have lived over the last 3 years, as you can see, which means that they need to know where you've been for the past 3 years, which is very, very important. I've taken my time to do this tutorial so that any other person who is struggling will be able to go through this smoothly without stress. So I'll click on the second address because they need 3 years. Now when you go to the next one, or the portion where you're going to enter your address number 2, you realize that it brings up postcode again. Obviously it wouldn't have been in the UK, so what you need to do is to go and click on the other ways to enter your address, and then this is where you can select whether it's a non-UK address, your street and town, whichever one is fine. I'm going to choose the non-UK or the non-GB address and go to next. Now over here you need to select the country, so I'm going to select let's say Ghana for instance. Yes, because so I can just put it there, and then I'll go to next. And then they ask you how long have you lived here in Ghana. So they're saying that the last 3 years, so don't forget, I mean, since you are born you've been living there all your life. So for me, I'm going to say maybe 28 years and let's say 4 months or 3 months. 28 years 3 months. Yes, that's what I'm going to put there. Now go to next. Now it brings back all my address. This is where you have to look through your address history, make sure that everything you entered is correct before you move on to the next. Okay, so home telephone number, this is where you put your security details, right? So this is where you put maybe your mother's maiden name, place of birth. All these things are very important. First two are not compulsory, or they are not required. So as you can see, you enter the last 3, and then your birth surname, your mother's maiden name, and then your place of birth, obviously, and then you move on to the next one once you're done entering all those details. So as you can see, once you enter next after filling your security details, the next thing you see on the screen is for you to enter your national insurance number, and it says that provide your national insurance number. It will help to process your application more quickly if you enter a national insurance number. DVLA will attempt to verify and authenticate your identity before they are able to send you the form. What they are saying is, if the DVLA, this is very important, if the DVLA is unable to verify your identity, it may result in you having to send additional documents such as original identity document by post, right? So this is where you have to enter your national insurance number if you have one. Now if you don't know how to apply for the national insurance number, if you're new to the UK, let me know if you want me to do a video in the comments below, and I'll do another video. But yes, I'm going to enter my national insurance number, and then I'll continue. Okay, so the next part after entering my national insurance number is where it says I should enter my passport or UK passport number. Obviously I don't have a UK passport, so what I'm going to do is to go to next, because it says if you do not wish to provide or you do not have a UK passport, click on the next button. So I'm going to click on next. But there's one thing that I also forgot to mention. If you don't have a national insurance number, you can click on next, but what it means is that they would require additional documentation, and that would mean that you will have to apply by post. So after you've gone through with your declaration that you don't have any national insurance number, what you they ask you a question. Okay, have you lived in any other country in the last 12 months? Yes, you can say yes, and then the next question is, can declare your current disqualification. Are you currently disqualified from whether or not you are supposed to drive? So these are the application questions that you need to answer, right? So if you are currently disqualified, you say yes, but I'll say no. So the next one, I'm going to go to next. It says which country. I'm going to enter Ghana. You can enter your country as well. When did you come to the UK? I'm just going to do maybe 4th of January 2024 or 2025. Yes, and then it says can you meet. So the UK guidelines, you need to be able to see, I think it's like 20 meters, right? As you can see, if you need more help, if you don't understand this, let's go there. It says that the legal ISA standard means that you must be able to read a car number plate from 20 meters. So yes, you must be able to prove that you can do that. Now once you can do that, what you just need to go back. So you come here, can you meet? Yes. You need the glasses. If you need, just be honest. Please don't lie. Just make sure you are answering the questions honestly. If it's a no, it's a no. Then you click on next. And the next thing is where you talk about your medical conditions. You go through, make sure you read all of them and take all that applies to you. I'm not going to go through, but of epilepsy, we have any condition that affect both eyes. Just make sure you're answering the questions in all honesty, because at the end of the day it might come back to haunt you. But if you haven't got any of them, yes, what you can come back to say yes. It says if none of the above are relevant to you, please click next. So yes, I just go and click next. It takes me to the declaration page. So this is where I'll declare and say, okay, I confirm that I do not suffer from any other illness or condition that will prevent me from driving. Yes, declare. Once you declare organ donation, if you want to do blah blah blah, if you don't want to do, that's fine. If you don't want to donate, you can record this decision on the NHS organ donor. That's up to you. So yes, I like to do that. No, I would like to complete my DVLA. So this one, just pay attention to it. Over here, you see that you want to join the organ donor, or you like to just go and complete. So I'll click on yes, I want to complete the DVLA driver's application. Yeah. So this is where you enter your email address, and then make sure you enter a correct email address, because for any correspondence they're going to send it back to you, and that should be fine. So I'm going to enter my email address next, and it's so guys, this is the final step, especially with the form where you make the final declaration. So as you can see on your screen, you need to confirm. Once you confirm, it gives you a summary, and the summary is where you get to see everything that you've entered. Please make sure you check to be sure you have the correct information. After that, the next phase is when you make a payment. I've done it already, so I wouldn't want to repeat it again. Then of course, but if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below and I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know if you got value for it, and like I said, please make sure you share, like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that, so that anytime I post a video you'll be the first to watch.